Hi, I'm so glad you could make it. Welcome, come on in. This is a big day for me. I celebrate today like I celebrate my birthday. Today makes 28 years I've been here in the United States. And for many of you, it may not sound like a big deal, but for me, it's huge because of the opportunities that I've been able to have in this country. It has really changed my life and changed the lives of my sisters, by the way. That's them. And of course, hey, let's show them this picture right here. Because, I can't do anything straight up, right? That was my family portrait a couple years ago. And if you know me, you know I can't do anything without my cup of coffee. It is my lifeline and my sanity line. This is my house. This is my wall of photos. Don't judge me. It's work in progress. Some of it is done. Some of it is not. And this is my grandmother. She's been here for almost as long as we have. She's in her late 80s. She's a feisty woman and really sarcastic and a little bit of a firecracker, a real survivor. I think that's where we get all of our characteristics from. So come on with me. I want to take you outside to my balcony. I want to have a little chat with you. So I live on Miami Beach. This is where I find my sanity and solace. Today, I take a moment and reflect on how far I've come. And sometimes when you're in the middle of working and building a career and building a business, things aren't moving fast enough. Things aren't happening as quickly as you want them to be happening. And you kind of forget sometimes how far you've come. So sometimes you have to stop and reflect and take a deep breath and really look back. And when I look back, 28 years is a long time, but when I got here, I was 14 and I didn't speak any English. I ended up in high school and then college, and then after college, I wanted to be a journalist. So my first thing was to be the best journalist I could be, and the second thing was be a broadcast journalist. That meant being on television, and of course, being in my 20s and sounding like a foreigner and having an accent, that was not something that people encouraged me to pursue. In fact, a lot of people looked at me like I was crazy, as if that was never going to happen. But I don't remember thinking that I couldn't make it. I didn't pay any attention to that because by that point, I'd already done so much. By 14, I'd survived a war and the revolution in Iran, and I'd gone through Germany for 2 years and learned a whole other language and ended up in the United States and started over multiple times in my teens. So to me, that was just kind of, hey, if there's a way, if there's a will, there's a way, and there's always a way. And it may not be a direct line to where I want to go. It may look like one of those images and graphics that you see, you plan one thing and you end up all over the place until you get to where you want to be. And that's exactly what it was. And the reason I want to show you this is because all of this happened by design. It did not happen by accident. I had a vision in my mind of the kind of journalist I wanted to be. I really wanted to tell stories. I wanted to give the voiceless a voice. I wanted to make a difference and an impact in people's lives. And I feel like I've been able to do that all the way up when I worked in Detroit. And after Detroit, I realized that I wanted to do it in a different way, in a different setting. So I came down here in Miami. Miami was part of a bigger vision and a bigger plan. I wanted to have a specific type of lifestyle with the opportunity to still do what I wanted to do and what I love to do. And I wanted an apartment like the one you just saw, and I wanted a view like the one I have. And that's the reason I kind of walked you through all of this. It's to say, if you can think it, you can do it. If you can visualize it, you can make it into a reality. I am a perfect example of how that's possible. It may take 28 years, but anything worth having takes time. My photographer is looking at me and winking at me because he knows how impatient I am sometimes, and we are sometimes impatient. But the reality is, if you just stay focused on your goal and you stay focused on the next step, the immediate step after what you're doing, not necessarily the long-term goal, but what do you need to do? What are the activities and the habits you need to have in order to get to the next point of your plan? It will happen. Sometimes slow and steady is the best way to do it. So on this day, I want to say a couple of things. Thank you for those of you who've always supported me and have loved me through this process. I'm going to try not to cry, and have been mentors for me and have guided me and directed me in all kinds of ways to give me the opportunity to have the life that I have. That includes my family and friends everywhere. And for those of you who are just starting out and who are trying to make the impossible possible, I mean, look at me. I'm a 14-year-old refugee that got here 28 years ago. I'm a television reporter. I am a producer of short films. I live in Miami Beach with an amazing view, an amazing apartment. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Don't let anyone ever tell you that your vision is not worth fighting for or pursuing. Thanks.